Good evening and welcome to the KUTV Primetime News. Now tonight we have a lot in store for you, including a discussion on digital journalism. We will take you through that and give you a feel of what it feels to be a journalist. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm in the company of Ivan Sodhiambo, a sign language interpreter for the night, and I go by the name Daphne Orina. Let's get started. Tonight we start off on a sad note where 7 people have died following a tragic road accident at Ngata Bridge on the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway. 20 other people sustained serious injuries and were rushed to the Rift Valley Provincial General Hospital for treatment. The accident involved a trailer and 2 matatus. Nakuru West Sub-County Police Commander Edwin Otieno confirmed the incident that happened earlier this evening, saying one of the matatus was ferrying passengers to Kapsabet while the other was traveling from Kapsabet when the accident occurred. Away from that, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua held a meeting today with Israel Ambassador His Excellency Lord Michael at Harambee House Annex. The duo discussed various issues including the drought situation in Kenya and areas of mutual collaboration between Kenya and Israel. Speaking on his Twitter account, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua stated that Kenya and Israel have enjoyed strong, fruitful and sociable relations over the years based on reverence and trust. The two nations have had a number of common and similar historical experiences and features. In other news, the Nairobi festivals continue to attract a diverse food, culture and art as the centenary enters the day 2 at the newly revamped Uhuru Gardens. But the story of 2 innovators who are making chairs with plastic bottles and motor vehicles innovator is what stalled today's show, as Sauma now reports.
Kenya's capital city, Nairobi, also known as the Green City under the sun, harbors diverse culture and talents that simply cannot go unnoticed. From industry to banking, musicians to artists and innovators all throng Nairobi festivals to showcase their brilliant creations and services as the festivals enters day 2. But one story in particular caught our attention.
Hatukuanza na kiti, nilianza na vitu vingine kwanza, design ikaenda, ndio nikakaa mna hii innovation ya kiti. Hii kiti na flower vase, mimi napiga. Niliamka tu nikatengeneza kitu smart yenye mimi mwenyewe nikakalia nikaprove. Iko sawa.
After cleaning the streets for some time, Kenneth Ochieng and his team saw the menace caused by plastic bottles, and it is there that the idea was born.
Na hiyo ndio ilitumotivate after kuona tuko na plastic mingi za chupa. Tuko na nini tunaweza anza kuanza kufanya nazo.
sisi tumecome up na idea yenye inaweza saidia vijana na ni solution for the future about recycling.
One chair cost roughly 10,000 Kenya shillings, and with the right support and exposure, as Ochieng clearly put it, they are planning to empower young men with the aim of creating employment in the near future.
Nairobi mzima tuna ndoto ya kuemploy vijana kama hata ngiri 15.
This S5 Toyota MIGM7 with 180 km per hour tells a story of yet another young innovator whose love for motor vehicles runs deep.
It is a half electric and auto. That's what makes it separate from other cars, because the fuel consumption is very low and it is very, very positive to the environment.
First, he began with motorbike before venturing fully to motor vehicle. Ever since, Lenku Ivan has never looked back. Creative economy has potential of being a mega employer. For Lenku, all he wants is the tools required to compete not just locally but globally, and the festivals present an opportunity for that.
A long term is to produce this prototype.
The two inventions clearly indicates the gap that needs to be filled. Young innovators coming out in large numbers for the edition of the Nairobi festivals to showcase what they have in aims of creating an employment and even extending the courtesy call to others to join the fight, the aim of reducing what it seems to be a big burden of unemployment. Auma Evans for KUTV at Uhuru Park, Nairobi.
Now, a man accused of murdering his wife at Kimogoro village of Narok South Sub-County has been arraigned today in a Narok High Court where he was charged with murder. Zakaria Ngetich Silatei is accused of killing Miss Judith Resiato on November 1st this year, where he was consequently arrested on November 16th. And like that, we take our first break right here on KUTV Primetime News. We're coming back with a discussion of the night. Make sure you stay tuned to catch that particular conversation.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Sasa sote tuko sawa, nchi moja yenye usawa, tunasonga mbele pamoja. NHIF, nobody's left behind. One love, one people, sustainable health for everyone. NHIF inafaidi jamii, strong as one, strong as one. Usawa ni umoja, usawa ni upendo, afya bora bila ubaguzi. UHC Supercover. Usawa ni umoja, usawa ni upendo, afya bora bila ubaguzi. UHC Supercover. NHIF.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. The chief guest is Deputy President His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Teach us about the Arctic chapter.
So last year, July, you know when you're by yourself, you think you're doing well, when you're 12 hours of work, or making you feel like a podcast, you think you're doing well.
Yeah.
And so I was invited to this community, and it's a community of young entrepreneurs who meet every Friday to exchange business through a concept called strong word of mouth. Once you educate yourself, now it's self-awareness. Ask yourself, what are my goals? What is my budget? Where do I want to start? What do I prefer? Do I prefer shares? Do I prefer cryptocurrency? Do I prefer forex? Probably you have answers. You don't like stress and then you want to do forex.
Our children are home, schools are closed, and I'm sure that in this festive season that we are getting into, you will need a quick fix, a quick meal, one that is easy to make, one that is delicious, and definitely fancy for the kids. So today we are going to learn how to make a couple of meals when we are using rice. We're going to make 3 types of meals using rice.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People pass vuguvugu. People pass ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. The chief guest is Deputy President His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Sasa ni bora zaidi, mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Soko moko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Young. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Welcome back. Let's now get into the conversation of the night. Revolutionize. What was I saying? We want to talk about digital journalism tonight for the very first time. You know, we are used to talking about factors that affect different kinds of industries. And for the very first time, we talk about our very own profession, our very own field, where we'll be looking at the impact of digital journalism on traditional journalism. Are we seeing that traditional journalism taking a plunge for the worst? In studio with me is Agri Karani and Rogers Otiso, who will be helping me, dissect into that matter. Thank you so much for coming. Introduce yourself to our viewers and tell them who you are.
Thank you for the invitation. My name is Agri Karani, a communication and media student from Longo University. I'm currently in second year. And also, I love writing and media is my passion.
Thank you, madam. My name is Otiso Rogers. I'm a student at Longo University, taking communication and media studies. I'm an article writer. I write at Health and Science Stories, the Standard newspaper. I love writing. Heart of Journalism is about writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. You've mentioned that you two are writers for the Standard. What took you into that particular field? I don't think that many people actually go into the field of journalism thinking, I want to be a writer for a newspaper,
Okay. In journalism, you must be aggressive. You must be aggressive. Journalism is not all about finishing your school and going outside there without anything you can do. So, for me, personally, I wanted to be a medical journalist in the future. After 4 years in my school, I wanted to be a medical journalist. So, choosing health and science as my topic, which I can write into the local dailies, I just wanted to be unique. You see, most of the people, most of the journalists are much into political issues. So I just want to be unique, somehow unique, so that I can be somehow unique to the society. So I love science stories.
Mm-hmm. Agri, talk to us. What about you? Why is it the newspapers for you?
For me, it's all about really getting the idea out there. There is more information that we need to really get out there that is not out there. There's information that is online. Why online? And we don't get it out there. So by me writing, I get to inform people. I get to be the eye of the society, because I believe that as journalists, we are the eye of the society. In whatever that is happening, we should know and we should be able to really give people the information out there. I also like health and science. My major motivation in writing health and science is really to inform people on the type of diseases that are out here and how we can really control them and also prevent them. Yes.
Okay. Now that we are talking about digital journalism, Agri, can you just tell us briefly what we mean by digital journalism?
For me, my perspective about digital journalism is how we have we have really given that freedom from how it was then. Digital journalism is how we inform people by use of journalistic method such as the internet to really get the information out there, not like the traditional forms of journalism like the radio, newspaper, and the radio, newspaper, and the television. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add on, perhaps, Rogers?
Okay, in digital journalism, nowadays you can get information or even breaking news at your comfort at home. Nowadays, people don't wait for bulletin at 9 p.m. or at 7 p.m. to receive news. You can access your news through using your Android phone and get updated what is really happening in the world. Digital is the only way to go in future journalism. You can access news through using your phone when you are at comfort at your home. There's no need to just wait news at 9 p.m., as said earlier, for you to get updated. So this is the only way to go.
But then, if you're now going to, turn to the phones to get our daily, bulletins, do we then have the need for having these journalists? Because we have so many citizen journalists who are, disseminating information at will, not taking the neutrality of the journalism, rule that is there for journalists to always stay neutral. Then why do we need to have journalism?
Or, for example, let me take it simple. Earlier, we had journalists who are some of the journalists are giving news at 9 p.m. So we need at least to get the breaking news as it happens. Yeah.
Okay. So my question is, thank you very much for saying that part of the need for people to be kept up to speed with information 24/7. But then, if we are having these phones that are unregulated, for sure they are unregulated. Do we then have a future in the journalism, the traditional ways of journalism?
For me, in my perspective, I think that the future of journalism is online. It's all about us as journalists creating our space online. Because, like now, major media stations are laying off journalists. It's all about us as journalists coming up with ideas on how we can earn a living now, starting now.
This creativity you talk about, of course, we are seeing a lot of media houses laying off even the most prestigious of personalities that you thought would last into eternity, perhaps. Then how are we going to now scale ourselves, or rather shape ourselves into fitting into the digital space?
Okay, for me, what I can say, you need to be a versatile journalist. What do I mean? Be all-around journalist. Don't stick to that one skill that you have. For example, if you are good in print, don't stick to print media only. Be versatile journalist. Go around. Have at least 2 skills that will define you. Don't have one skill that will define you. Just have at least 2 skills so that you can fit in this media industry. Media houses, most of the media houses nowadays, they are looking for versatile journalists who can handle more than 2 skills and above. So just go into the drawing point and understand which skills fits you. But having one skill, you will not fit in this industry.
For me, I think the future of journalism is all about us thinking of new creative ways. Like now, the reign of Mark Masai has created up new ways of earning a living, like coming up with his own show through his social media platforms, where he will start earning a living. Because I think that is the only way we can go and really start earning a living through the social media platforms, and also by use of Twitter Spaces, by use of Facebook, by use of YouTube channels.
Also, I can add, in journalism, it is not a must you get employed by any media station. It's not a must, but if you get a chance to be employed, it's all good. But it's not a must you get employed. You can go even, if you are good in writing, for me, for example, just go and come up to your own blog. You can let your articles from there. You can even share your articles to one of your friends who has some blogs. It's not a must you get employed. So.
Okay, give us that drawing line where you know that you'll set the difference between an experienced, or rather a journalist who's really into the traditional forms, and these unregulated citizen journalists who just post anything at will.
Come on again, madam.
I'm asking about these news values that we want to educate people out there that they should look out for when disseminating knowledge, because following the improper route could actually lead to some unprecedented outcomes.
For me, I think as journalists we follow the media ethic rules, which we really know and understand as journalists in the media industry. One of them is really having that objectivity in reporting of news, and also truthfulness in really dissemination of that information that we gather around.
Anything you'd like to add on, Rogers, regarding the values that we should look out for when disseminating information as citizen journalists?
You must stick to professional. You must stick to professional and media ethics. That should be learned as you are going to handle any journalistic duty. Make sure that you are aligned to the journalistic part of it.
But then, Rogers, we are talking about citizen journalism. The contemporary mwananchi out there who has not necessarily undertaken a journalism course. Which regulations are we going to tell them, you particularly, to really follow just to give the proper kind of information in the right way?
Okay, what I can say that they should first of all use their own means to verify news before posting, even sharing to any social media platform. They must verify news, because you cannot give us that. For example, an incident has taken place in Some Bungwama. You are saying, there is no data or any confusing agent that will ensure that we have really get confused what is still happening. Yeah.
Agree. We have now this digital journalism era where journalists feel like they should be given the mandate to actually forgo the principle of neutrality, where you have to stay neutral and not take sides. What do you think will be the worst that can happen if that is considered to, if they are given that authority to take sides in reporting their stories?
As journalists, we are mostly taught that never be in any side while reporting a story. But for citizen journalists, I know there is a problem with that, because it can really lead to violence, like the 207 and 208 violence, because really, if you get information out there that is not correct, and you really give one-sided information, then that is not correct.
Well said. I think people out there are learning why, someone can ask you, you're human too, you have a view about this, you should be allowed to take side and voice your own opinion regarding this, but then we as journalists have a role to stay neutral so that to avoid such cases that could be actually avoided by passing simple information. Now, let's talk about you two gentlemen who have ventured into the art of writing for newspapers, specifically health. I'm curious, why health?
As I said earlier, I just wanted to be unique. You see some of the journalists, most of the journalists have stick to like politics. So I just wanted to be unique, some are unique. Being a writer, being a health writer is not an easy job you can do. I think you can satisfy that. It's not an easy job to do. So I just want to be unique. For me, I love health and science stories because I had performed earlier from high school very, very well in English and not English, in science subject. So I have that skill or even content so that I can expose to the public.
What of you agree? Why the health? Why health?
For me, I have always had that passion of really informing people about health matters, about what is happening out there about their health, and really getting them to know what is new in the health sector. I always wanted really to inform people and really get them into the nursing part or the medical part of really what the the healthcare workers go through, and also getting to inform them about new and upcoming diseases, and also how they can also prevent them. Yeah.
Do you think people actually read these newspapers now that we are in the digital era of journalism where people access information through their phones?
That's why most of the newspapers are also getting digital. Most of the newspapers are now getting onto the online platforms because they have also realized that most people don't really get to read that hard copy newspaper. So to really get to inform more people who are online, they are getting to really open more spaces for them on their website and publishing those articles there. Yeah, I believe that many people read and many people get informed, and they also take into consideration the solution that we give to them.
Rogers, some critics say that newspapers should not switch to a solely internet-based format, but instead keep a component of print as well as digital. And we've seen this a lot. Why is this the case? Why are we keeping it, partial? Because if I have my phone, then why do I need to go and buy this newspaper?
Okay. I've done my research. Hard copies, newspaper hard copies, they have a lot of content as compared to print, as compared to online newspaper. I've done my research, so it is better at least to have a cut on hard newspaper and even the online one. So it's a way to go to the hard newspaper.
Now that the both of you are in the print, the print sector or segment of journalism, how do we now set the difference? Because we have a lot of writers online writing about this, writing about that, claiming it is health. You'll find very peculiar content online. How do we get to set the difference so that we choose just the quality of this digital content that you press, press-based, print-based rather, journalist post online?
The basic way of really getting to know which content is correct is really seeing the source of that news. Like now, if you want to get the real data and real information about maybe a disease that is outside Kenya, it's better to use the WHO and also use the CDC. Those organizations are NGOs, but they really have done research on really getting those informations out there. And also, if you want to get data on accurate data and real data on maybe the polio cases in Kenya, it's better to really use the the Ministry of Health, MOH website. Those are the platforms that that anybody can really trust on their information.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add on, Rogers, perhaps that Agri has not mentioned?
Okay, what I can just say is that health and science is the only way to go. Health and science is the topic that is very unique, and I can advise many leaders outside there and media students who are taking communication and media, at least to concentrate and do health and science stories. They are paying. For me, I have done a lot of stories. I've published many articles, health and science stories. So health and science stories, they're a good way to go.
Someone is asking here how, or rather, what is the criteria for becoming a writer for the newspapers?
First of all, you must read. You must have that urge of reading a lot. You must read a lot of newspapers, a lot of books. For me, as I write health and science stories, I read a lot of health articles. There are other students who are reading even health and science articles. I read them so that I can get some content which I don't have. So you must be a good reader if you want to be a good writer. So just read.
Read and read a
Yeah.
lot. Okay. Agree. If I could take you back and ask, newspapers no longer break news to us recently. How do you stay relevant?
The only way to stay relevant in this era of where digital journalism has taken place is really getting to give people an extra information that digital journalism has not given out. Because if you give new information that isn't on the online platforms, then a person will really want to read your article more than that article that is online. So it's all about giving new information that the other writers have not given out.
Both of you are health writers, right? Yes. And you have written a lot of articles based on diseases, and someone can just go to their phones on Google and Google about a certain disease, and it will display all the signs and symptoms of that particular disease. What sets you aside? What sets you apart? What makes you unique as a print journalist who's a health-based journalist in the print media? Agree.
The only thing that will really set you apart from really the other people who write health, it's all about how you will bring out your points, and also the interviews we do. Mostly, you don't just write health and science stories from nowhere. You must really have a journalist, a medical doctor or a nurse somewhere to really show you and direct you to the right way of writing those stories. Because if right now I want to write about maybe polio cases or malaria cases, I cannot just go and take the symptoms from online. I must look for a doctor or a nurse to really elaborate more on the symptoms before I start writing them down. Yes. So it's all about really getting that interaction with the doctors, nurses, and all people who are in the medical field.
Rogers, many people now viewing digital journalism as the death of journalism. How true do you think this is?
Okay, what I can say is that, as I said earlier, just be versatile journalist. Be all round. It's not a must that if you are good in print, make sure that you have something that will back up your print. In future journalism is about digital journalism. Yes, I understand that. But have some skills. If you are good in technical, do that. It's not all about going to one side of.
Thank you for that. But the question is, are we seeing the extinction of journalism coming to life because of the surfacing of online platforms? Agree? Do you think we are seeing a possible extinction of journalism as a whole, and how do we prevent that?
I really don't think that there will be any extinction of journalism, because digital journalism is another form of journalism, but it's all about really using the internet to get our information out there. Because if we really get to arrange ourselves well as journalists, we can be able to take that praise that the other citizen journalists are taking away from us.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. I think we're getting it right from the two honorable gentlemen in studio tonight regarding matters journalism. Some people have funny questions online, about connections into the Standard. They will get to interact with you on your personal platforms if you could share them on that camera.
You can find me on all social media platforms is Agri Karani.
In all social media platform is Rogers Otiso. I really appreciate for your time.
Thank you very much for coming through. Someone here is asking, one Dominic is asking, what are the challenges you guys are facing in the print media?
First of all, remember I'm a student. I need to attend classes, I need to attend lectures. So I have limited time to write my articles. So I need to wake up early in the morning and do my tasks, which I need to submit to the lecturer. From there, I tackle because I must write an article every week, even 2 or 3 articles. So there's a lot of, I have limited time to take my articles written.
And again, staying relevant is very hard in the print sector, because if I don't write consecutively in the dailies, the next time I will write, it will be very hard to really get my space back. So it means that I have to be consecutive in writing so that I can really maintain my space there. Yes.
Any pros, now that we have talked of the challenges you guys are facing, give us something to make us to want to go into print?
You get network, you network with people. If your article goes viral, you get to network with people. You can get some benefits, always like cash. So there's a lot of benefits that you can get through print, writing articles, science health articles, to be specific on that.
You've put a lot of emphasis on the health sector. Is that to say that these other forms of journalism do not really sell?
But there are less journalists who are good writers in health and science. So I just wanted to be unique somehow.
Agri, do you think that is true, what Rogers is claiming? We have few health writers, and why is that so?
There are health writers, it's just that people don't really love the pronunciation of words that are in the health docket, because really the words that are in the health docket aren't that very easy in really explaining. Yeah, but also the other fields are okay, like the political field. Although the most important thing when getting into a field is looking at how many people are in that field, because in the political field, for me, I see like there are more people in the political field than the health one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, we have these qualities of news that is being newsworthiness. How do you get newsworthiness out of a health story? Because I deem them to be all worthy. How do you set aside one from the other?
Okay, you must focus on timelessness. News that happened last week is less newsworthy as compared to the news that is happening today.
In relation to health, Rogers, we are talking about health. Malaria is 24/7 relevant, right? Because someone is infected today, infected tomorrow. Yeah. How do you set aside what you want to select for today that is really worthy for the papers, rather, let's say this week, to narrow it down, or rather to expand it further from a different kind of disease?
You must look for experts, like health and science experts, like doctors, as Agre said. You must look for experts so that you can come up with something that is new in that article you are going to write about. It's about health. Many people have wrote about health, considering that malaria, but just go deep down and see what's new in that article you are going to read about, so that you can make it more relevant.
Someone is asking something that I don't think many people would be asking about cartoonists. We see some segments in the newspapers having caricatures of, matters pertaining to politics and that. What is really the outline of going into being a cartoonist for the newspaper, and how do you go about the whole thing?
Being a cartoonist for the newspaper is all about having that passion, and you must have the passion to really draw, because you must really have that passion to really getting an idea from the political field and present that idea in such a way that you don't offend a person. So in such a way that, yes, you communicate what you wanted to communicate, but indirectly by use of cartoons. Yeah.
Okay. Somehow, when I was a child, I used to think of that like some kind of insults. You see a particular politician drawn with a big head, a huge hand, and stuff like that. But thank you so much for coming through, Agri and Rogers. Thank you so much. We've had a fruitful discussion. We look forward to having you next time. We're going on a break right now, and we'll be back with more stories. Don't go too far.
Wazazi wangu ni special sababu wananipenda sana na mimi nawapenda pia. Kabla ya kuzaliwa, nikikuwa kwa tumbo ya mom, aliamua kulilinda na UHC super cover. Wazazi wangu walinilinda na wakajilinda na UHC super cover. Wana kila kitu ya kutulinda. Waliniambia inalipia kutibiwa magonjwa mingi. So leo ningependa kuambia mami na dadi asanti kwa kutumia UHC super cover. I love you.
Wacha familia yako iwe bora kadri uwezo wao, maana UHC super cover tuko nawe. Je, jukumu lako ni lipi? Ni rahisi. Lipia NHIF yako kila mwezi ya shilingi 500 pekee ili kujali afya yako, ya familia na jamii. Iwapo hujajisajili kama memba wa NHIF, tembelea kituo cha NHIF au huduma center yote nchini. Bonyeza *155# kujisajili au download My NHIF app kwa Google Play na Apple Store kujisajili. UHC Super Cover. Sasa sote tuko sawa.
UHC Super Cover. NHIF. How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe?
Welcome to Engine, an educational show for all the family. Get ready for some exciting learning and fun teaching.
How does a plane fly over the sea? How do the planets float so weightlessly? Let's go! Let's go! It's technology. Let's go! Let's go! Science, you and me. Let's go! We're learning every day. Let's go! Let's go! Engine leads the way.
Teach us about the Arctic chapter.
So last year, July, you know when you're by yourself, you think you're doing well, when you have 12 hours of work, you feel like a podcast. You think you're doing well.
Yeah.
And so I was invited to this community, and it's a community of young entrepreneurs who meet every Friday to exchange business through a concept called strong word of mouth. Once you educate yourself, now it's self-awareness. Ask yourself, what are my goals? What is my budget? Where do I want to start? What do I prefer? Do I prefer shares? Do I prefer cryptocurrency? Do I prefer forex? Probably you have answers. You don't like stress, and then you want to do forex.
Farming Wonder, we are the innovators of the Wonder Multi-Story Garden. It conserves water from a space that you can grow 6 plants. 16 plants, you are able to do 120 plants from the same space. You can also incorporate other technologies, like with this multi-story garden, you can see we have added drip irrigation.
Katika shamba letu tunatumikia kama smart farming. We partnered with Farming Wonder to automate this multi-story garden. You can automatically irrigate your plants wherever you are at any time.
Kenyatta University will hold its 52nd graduation ceremony on Friday, 16th December 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. The chief guest is Deputy President His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111 or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at sports. Kenya's James Dalidi closed the year in style as he won the Uhuru Squash Open tournament held at the Colosseum Gym and Fitness Center in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Dalidi beat Zambia's Enos Mwale 3-1 in the finals to clinch the 1 million Tanzanian shillings top prize, while Mwale grabbed 600,000 Tanzanian shillings. Kenya was represented by 3 years players Dalidi, Keys and Nation Karanja in the 3-day tournament that attracted 47 representatives from 4 countries, that is Kenya, Zambia, Zanzibar and the host Tanzania. And now, Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba has promised to launch investigations over misappropriation of funds meant for the construction and renovation of stadiums after his recent visit in these facilities raised questions over the credence of those involved. Speaking after the Jamhuri Day celebrations at Nyayo Stadium, Namwamba signaled disappointments at the condition of the stadiums after being forced to hand over the Jamhuri Trophy to Sofapaka under darkness. Other stadiums on the spotlight include Kinoru Stadium in Meru and Kipchoge Keino Stadium in Eldoret, where billions were spent, yet the facilities don't match the investment. Moving on swiftly, Elvis Muigua and Rasmeet Kaur have been crowned winners of the Safaricom Elite Golf Tournament, which marked the end of the 3-day boot camp held at Windsor Golf Club. The tournament, which was held in collaboration with the United States Kids Golf Foundation, was aimed at training 51 elite junior golfers across the country on different aspects of the game, including putting, chipping, pitching, bunker, iron play, and woods. Furthermore, the training of local coaches by United States Kids Senior Director Golf Development Jim Harry is also ongoing across the main golfing regions of the coast, Nairobi, Mount Kenya, Rift Valley, and the Western counties. Wrapping up our sports segment tonight, after highly contested quarterfinals, the FIFA World Cup enters into the semi-finals tonight, where Lionel Scaloni's Argentina will be rubbing shoulders against Zlatko Dalic's Croatia at the Lusail Stadium. The 10 p.m. kickoff match will be the third meeting between these sides, having met in 1998 and 2018. In their last encounter, Croatia stunned Argentina 3-0 from goals from Ante Rebic, Ivan Rakitic and Luka Modric. Furthermore, Croatia will be looking to become the fourth team to qualify for 2 consecutive World Cup finals, while Argentina will be aiming at extending their World Cup semi-finals unbeaten. That's where we leave it at for the KUTV Primetime News tonight. Thank you so much for keeping us company. It's been a very wonderful 1 hour of information. Hope you learned something about journalism, you as a citizen. Meet on Friday. Tomorrow you'll be having Ann Odida. My name is Daphne Orina, and I've been in the company of Odhiambo, who's a sign language interpreter. Have a good night.